Welcome to Two No's and an Awesome.
Whoa.
Welcome to Two No's and a No Clue with the No's, Adam and Sabrina, and the No Clue, Madeline. And we're here to talk about the latest Survivor episode.
Oh, I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. Because I'm the big Sandra fan, and you know the one who's like, let's get out Sandra is JT. And who'd we get out? JT. And who got him out? Sandra.
Yeah,
So,
this was Sandra's night, 100%. She
this
did.
is Sandra's show.
She did phenomenal, and she's the last remaining winner in the game. So there will not be a two-time winner right now.
She's protected her title.
That theory is gone. It cannot happen anymore. So
We get a three-time
really
or
great.
a one-time.
Exactly. So really, really horrifying night for Team Madeline. Debbie goes psycho. JT and Michaela are the two boot potential people. Who else is on your team? Sierra didn't do anything. So.
Sierra did pretty well. She was
and
very
JT.
tall.
She caught the
Don't
bag.
forget JT.
Sierra did very well in the challenges, I have to say.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I do not like Sandra still. She's a snake. I didn't like the whole sugar thing.
But
I
look
thought
how
that
well
was
it
so
worked.
Yeah, no.
petty.
How can you complain? It literally worked as good as possible.
I complain not because it worked, but because that she did it.
Here's what she did. If she gets rid of Michaela, right? She gets rid of Michaela. There's 4 of them left, and you can't predict the swap, right? So in that case, she's with JT and Aubrey, who clearly are against that side.
Yeah.
And then she's lost all the power. This way, yes, she lies about the sugar or whatever, but it was brilliant because it literally got the 2 exact people she wanted to be the boots. Her strategy is as long as it's not me, and it wasn't her.
And she's
it
put
was
herself
amazing.
so far away.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think
Yeah.
it was a very intelligent and smart and clever thing. I am uncomfortable with the morality or the lack of morality involved in it.
Whatever.
And there is a
Whatever.
there is, I would say, a more, I don't know, moral or like a less sketchy way to do it, which is the classic, like, oh, I heard so-and-so saying they were going to vote you out. Like, you know, tell JT, oh, Michaela's gunning for you. Like, that's the classic way of doing it. This was just kind of more theatrical and got her a sweet treat.
Yeah. And the fact that she's won 2 times and is still able to pull this garbage off just says so much about her as a player.
As a person who enjoys sugar in my coffee, also I find it offensive.
Oh, yeah.
How dare
Heartbreaking.
she?
Michaela, I think, is not a good player.
Nah.
I don't think she's a good player in the game. She is making enemies. She's showing attitude to people. Like, you saw Aubrey, who's a very rational, nice person. She got along with Sydney, who, on the surface, could seem a little bit like Michaela with that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
But they got along great. And with Michaela, she said she was done with her.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff we're not seeing, but... Michaela's probably given a little more to than we're seeing as well.
I think she's a big personality, which is why she got invited back and why people like her. Because like, if you give her a good edit, she does a lot of cool things.
Well, it's
but,
great
like,
TV.
Yeah, in terms of strategy, like she is mostly
She dug her
going
heart
with
out
the
too.
votes.
Yeah.
In today's
Oh,
show,
yeah, she's a
she
good
dug
digger.
her heart out.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, she really did.
Now, Team Sabrina, on the other hand, I got Sandra. She's doing great. I have. Because Team Green, the tribe, is like doing so well, like, and I have 3 people on it. I got Zeke, I got Ozzy, who's killing in challenges, and who else do I have? Oh, Andrea, who's not doing badly.
Yeah, but we saw what the coming up next. That's not gonna last.
Okay, well, why don't we organize our thoughts here? And let's break it down by tribe, because I feel like each tribe this week had a really individual story.
Except for Green Team.
So we'll start off with the green team.
Team Sabrina.
Definitely the most quiet story. They're winning. They have nothing to fear. But we get an interesting bit from Sarah and Troyzan.
Yeah.
Who Sarah says, like, we're working together. Keep it on the DL. If you tell anyone, I will screw you. And then she starts saying things like, you know, this is the way it is. It's 5 against 1, but that's all bullcrap, and I'm going to do what I want. It's very different.
Yeah.
So she keeps enunciating she's going to be a villain. Do you think that
I
it's
think
a
we're
misdirect,
seeing
or do you
more
think we're going to see an actual villain with
I
her?
feel like we keep seeing, like, throughout the season, we've seen, like, clips, like, hints that Sarah's gonna do something. I don't know what it is yet, but I think that could be part of it. Like, I don't know, next episode or, like, after the merge or something, but I feel like she's proven herself to be a pretty good player in terms of, like, making alliances but not being too big about it, which I feel like is also really good for returnee seasons. Like, not rocking the boat too much, but putting yourself in a good place.
Yeah, and she seems to be pretty under the radar, but she kind of knows what she's doing. And I think that they're setting up like more of a villain story with her later, and I think that we should keep our eyes on her, but I don't think she's going to be important right now.
Who would have also thought that Troyzan, the guy I picked on my team as like a last pick, would be the least self-imploding person today?
I think all those people are going to get really lucky and never lose and get to the merge and have all their people intact. I think that's what probably will happen.
You mean like Sarah and Troyzan?
Like all those people. Although there is a tribe swap next week,
so
which does change things, but I think that all those people won't go home. I just have a feeling. So, okay. I mean, that story is pretty minimal. They ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
They did well in challenges.
Peanut butter and jelly look really good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Oh my
God. So let's get to the Mana
Zeke
tribe.
was a boss on that puzzle, too.
Zeke was very good on the puzzle.
Zeke is great. I love Zeke.
I was impressed, legitimately.
So the Mana tribe is the red tribe, and we have Brad Culpepper, Debbie, Ty, Haley, and Sierra. So
are any of those on my team?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Ty, Brad, and Haley are all on my team. So
Debbie and Sierra.
Okay, so no.
So I don't know what you two are doing with your tribe picks.
Yeah, oh my god. So let's talk about Crazy Debbie. This week, thoughts. You guys go.
Oh, she lost it.
Yeah, she just, like, I could almost, like, kind of see what she was getting at with, like, you know, we were talking a little bit about how Brad's behavior was, like, very, like, kind of male, like, dominance, but she just, like, took it so far. And, like, she was even, like, she was even yelling at him, like, during the next challenge. It's like, you know, that's a challenge you want to win. Don't yell at someone during the challenge.
Yeah. And, you know, yes, Brad was shown to be a little bit forward, like, you do this, you do that a bit. But, like I keep saying, the whole great thing about Survivor is that they don't have to give him the power if they don't want. The fact that he's able to get all those people to follow him says a lot about him as a player. And Debbie's really the only one to be reacting negatively. They actually showed Haley saying, I like Brad. He's good in the challenges, and he's a good leader. And the edit went out of its way to just completely crap on Debbie. Like, she said, he's so controlling, and then it cut to a clip of her saying, I'm great at balancing. And he goes, great, you balance.
Well, that's the saddest thing. I feel like she had a legitimate point when he said that when she said that he was over controlling, and I understood that because I agree. I thought he was, but she wasn't angry really about that. She was. I feel like she was angry that she lost, but that was completely her fault in that situation.
Absolutely. I think that's a huge part of it. I think she was mad at herself, and she couldn't contain that, and decided to take it out on Brad Culpepper, which is a running theme in Survivor, apparently. So
it's just also disappointing because I think she had a valid point, but she was just so crazy and not correct in this circumstances that she's not gonna have that anyway heard. It's just gonna be Crazy Debbie. Yeah,
and that's exactly what we got.
Legitimately claimed tonight.
That was insane when she said, "You crushed my heart," and then started laughing. Like
that seemed a little like she was playing a character of herself.
You think? Do you really think so, though?
I feel like in that moment,
it was so ridiculous that Brad actually thought she was joking.
Yeah,
he's like, "Is this an act?"
Yeah,
you know,
it might have been
they weren't even sure.
Yeah,
it might have been, but
I wouldn't be surprised
if
she's playing it up a little
bit. It was really weird.
Yeah.
I'm also curious to see how both of these players, like, other players react to them after the tribe switch. Like, if Debbie still has issues with people, or if it's just Brad, and if other people have issues with Brad, or if that's just Debbie.
Yeah.
Because that'll tell us more about what happened here. Like, is there something we're not seeing where, like, Brad is actually bothering everyone, and is there something we're not seeing where Debbie is reacting negatively to everyone? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, you go.
I'm just fingers crossed that with the new tribe switch, Debbie will regain her sanity and people on her new team will not see this and she won't get sent home because I'm at a 2 loss right now.
Debbie better pray that she's on a tribe without them on it and that story doesn't get around too much.
Yeah.
Like, she better pray that Brad Culpepper and Haley get voted off or something, the next 2 or something.
Yeah. Or she gets on a tribe with Ozzy where she can just not go to tribal.
Not go to tribal ever, exactly. Yeah, she needs to really lay low now and calm down.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of attitude is what got her voted off last time.
Yeah.
I think actually it was with Ty, ironically enough. She was being crazy and Ty didn't want to work with her.
Yeah.
And she got voted off. So I think she goes down this road again, she could be seeing a very similar result, like early merge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, the Mana story was really just Crazy Debbie.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on to the final tribe, which is Nuku.
Oh my.
Weird name. All right, let's talk about it.
This was hard to watch.
It was really funny.
This was great. This
So
is excellent.
Honestly, I could say this is my favorite tribe, or it was for sure, because all these people are like really fun characters, and they're all just kind of working with the story a lot. Because you have Michaela, who's just like a joke. She's hilarious. And then you have JT, who's like not having any of it. You have Sandra, who's playing both of them like a violin. You have Jeff, who's just sitting there laughing. Like, it's great. Yeah. It's really great.
Jeff bothers me. He's making out as like a pretty strong player. He's playing very much under the radar. He's doing pretty good in challenges. He's like aligning with whoever needs to. He actually, I think, has a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I think Jeff is playing a good game.
And he's on no one's team.
Yeah, no one picked Jeff.
Oh,
I don't think Jeff will win.
And no one picked Sarah, and she's doing
Honestly,
well.
I think he has a pretty good chance.
He has a shot.
Yeah.
I think he definitely has a chance. If he can make it a couple more votes past the merge stage, he's in a really good spot.
Well, because people don't see him as a threat coming in. You know, he's not Sandra or Malcolm. Like, he's not these people that are like, oh, we have to vote them out because they've done well before. Yeah. He's someone who people, like, won't see as a threat until he actually proves it in this game.
Exactly. So, it was his decision tonight who to vote off.
And he chose right.
Okay, so is this right for him? Let's. What do you guys think?
I think so, because like I was saying before, I think if he had like said, "Oh no, Sandra's lying," and or even if he had just like voted the other way, I don't think his alliance would have been as strong with JT. Whereas I think with Sandra, like because of that like confidentiality and keeping that secret, that's a stronger bond there, and it's just like a fun moment. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna eat this sugar," and he's like, okay." Yeah. Like it's a human thing too.
And I think that for him, it's a great move because they won't predict that there's a tribe swap. So if that's the tribe, then, I mean, if they vote off Michaela, then he's very clearly a challenge weakness. Whereas if he votes out JT, then he has Sandra sitting there, who's probably a worse challenge competitor.
There's a bug on the couch.
Yeah. Is there? Oh, that is a very large bug. And
this is just like tribal council.
It really it is.
Oh, is there something
it's still on the arm.
Oh.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna take this cloth. Where is it?
I think it was like by the bottom of this thing.
Oh, there it is. All right, I think it's gone.
Real life Survivor.
Yeah, seriously, that was amazing. We're gonna keep
LA
it.
apartment version.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
Anyways, right, back to Survivor.
All right. So where were we? We were talking about Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, I was saying, how if he made the right choice.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. Madeline?
I gotta say, I think as much as it saddens me to see JT go, I guess I was gonna lose someone either way. To be honest, I was not really his biggest fan in the recent episodes. I think it was a smart move just because I think JT would have been less likely to actually remember that going forward than Michaela does. Michaela, for like all her flaws, seems to be slightly more loyal at least than JT. JT would probably be like, next episode, it's like, okay, whatever. Whereas like Michaela, I feel like will be more likely to remember that going forward.
The one thing that he does lose is now he doesn't, if he had stuck with JT, he would, in his alliance, have an idol. But JT didn't bring that up. Like, he didn't know that.
Like,
he was
so
JT
cocky.
could have played that idol. He could have played it all, but he also could have, like, mentioned it better to be like, hey, vote with me, because it's the only vote that
he has a stronger connection with Sandra and Michaela. Well, not really Michaela, but, I think that's his better move. It does, hurt him that he has a much higher chance of going back to Tribal Council now without JT. Yeah. Because JT was their best challenge threat, I think.
This tribe is so lucky they're getting a tribe switch.
Yeah,
because otherwise
really
they would
lucky.
just dissolve.
Well, then Aubrey would have been literally screwed. Yeah. There isn't too much to talk about her. She's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I don't understand why she was, why she's just on Team JT in this vote. Yeah. Like, why that was already decided. I missed
all those people already tried to vote her out once with Tony. Yeah. She got a bunch of votes at that tribal council. So I think she's very wary of those old tribe members, so she was trying to jump ship. Yeah. And I guess it didn't work out. Yeah. And also, Michaela does show some attitude. We actually, in the first episode, I remember, Michaela was kind of getting, like, freaked out, and then Aubrey was like, calm down, like, maybe the vote will go on someone else.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, it better, or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that. So maybe that was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It very well could have been.
Good job, editors.
Yeah. So they know what they're doing. So it's not, like, completely ridiculous, but we certainly should have gotten more from her. Yeah.
I'm loving the dynamic that's happening between Sandra and Michaela, like that we saw at Tribal, like just in terms of television and just like as people, they just like play off of each other very well.
Yeah, they were really funny.
Poured a cup of water and just drank it slowly.
That was insane.
Jeez, what
She's
was
a crazy
that?
person.
I love it. I love every second of it, though.
There's so many, like, crazy people right now. Yeah. You have Debbie and her, like, sipping water when she's getting votes, like...
My entire team.
What was her plan to do a spit take if she got voted off?
Maybe. That was
She's
what
like,
I
might as
thought.
well go out in,
Yeah.
like, a blaze of glory again.
I feel like what we've also learned from this, and I've actually probably, like, several challenges, I feel like now, is that whenever you are mounting, like, the lead assault against one particular player, be warned, you're probably the person they're gonna go against you with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this vote continues that trend of voting off the physical players.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Malcolm,
Malcolm,
JT.
Caleb, JT, like all these like physical threats are going, not Malcolm because he was a physical threat, the other two more for other reasons, but still like
Because Ty's a traitor.
it's an interesting pre-merge thing because usually you're like keep these people around to win challenges, but they're switching up the tribes so much it like doesn't matter.
I think there's
as
a
much.
theme going on. I think that the big players who are making, like, very bold moves are getting targeted and voted off.
Yeah.
And we were saying this before. So we had... And let's go back to Tony. Obvious, right?
Yeah.
He made a bunch of wacky
Way
spy
too
shacks or whatever. He gets voted off.
That was so entertaining.
Then you have Caleb, who kind of just gets in a really bad situation,
Yeah.
but
Because
has
Ty's a
that
traitor.
threat of, you know, I have an alliance with Ty.
Yeah.
Less so, but a little bit. Malcolm, he makes the move to try to get rid of Sandra, and then gets completely decimated. And now you have JT, who tries to get rid of Michaela and gets decimated. I feel like, who's the big player now? Sandra.
Yeah, but she's
Sandra.
been the big player all season and she
I know.
hasn't gone. Like, she didn't even come up, like,
I
for this
think-
vote. No one was like, let's vote out Sandra, or we didn't see it.
Yeah.
She might make it to the merge, but she's not going to make it past that,
I think... Well, who do we think's going home next?
Like, with all these tribe switches, like, how do you answer this question?
Yeah.
I guess you just based on just who do you think is going to be most
I mean,
hated.
Aubrey is in a very bad place, but I think that's
But none of
in
them
the
are now.
Yeah, it's in the context of her tribe.
That all changes now.
Like, maybe Debbie, if everyone's like, watch out, Psycho
yeah,
Debbie.
yeah. Psycho Debbie. I would say Debbie or Sandra. I think, like, she's going to get swapped, and everyone's going to be like, two-time winner, and vote her off immediately.
She would be an easy, like, okay, we have a new tribe, who should go?
Yeah, and they're like, she's still here? What the hell is going on here? You know what I mean?
We don't know, I guess we don't necessarily know it's a tribe switch. We heard drop your buffs, but probably with...
It
like,
is.
Yeah. We don't know if it's 2 or 3. And there's also Exile Island, like someone's going there, and also someone's coming back into the game.
How
It's
do
like
they choose who goes to Exile Island, and how does more
We
about
don't
them-
know.
sometimes a challenge, sometimes draw raw.
Exile Island
TBD.
hasn't been on Survivor since... It's been a while.
I'm surprised they're bringing it back. It's
Yeah.
like Ozzy requested it special. I'll only do the season if there's Exile
if there's an
Island.
Exile Island, yeah.
So is that part of the episode, or is that like online, or is that
No, it's part of the episode.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they get thrown on a secluded island, so one survivor is going to get sent there.
Yeah.
And then they said, and a returning player is going to come back, and I don't know what that
Like,
means.
who is important enough for this
The
first
host.
time in
He's
Survivor?
joining the show.
Malcolm, but I
Yeah.
think what they're going to do, my thought on that is if they're bringing back Exile Island, I'm assuming it has something to do with that. So I actually have another theory on it, which is really bad, but it's either A, like they get some big person like Rupert to come and help the guy on Exile Island. He's like, I'll help you build
that'd
a
be
fire.
great.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, like that's how they introduce it, like
Yeah.
by putting 2 people on.
Yeah. Or the more dark option is it's Monica coming to tell Brad that he needs to come home because their son is in trouble or something.
What?
I have no idea. Brad's wife
that's cute.
played on Survivor.
Oh.
Yeah, so what if they bring her back as like,
The
you
big
need to come home,
castaway."
Brad. You know?
yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Wait, so did they meet on the show, or they just independently both went on Survivor?
No, so there was a season called Blood versus Water.
And so they
where-
had a husband.
Yeah,
wife.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Some siblings.
Were they on the
husband,
same
wife.
team? Did they ever vote against each other?
No, the loved ones got put on opposite teams.
Oh, I see. I see. Did they ever have to vote against each other?
No. Brad got voted off really early.
Oh,
He made it already farther than he did
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Progress.
And his wife made it to the finals.
Did
Yeah.
she do well vote-wise or no?
She got 1 vote, I think.
That's better
She
than
got
a
second.
lot of people.
The other person got 0. And the other guy got, like, whatever, 9 or whatever it is. But,
Yeah. 1 vote.
yep, 1 vote for Monica Culpepper. I'm
Yeah.
seeing he keeps saying, like, I want to play like Monica.
Oh.
But if he's going to do that, then he's going to get a vote.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe that's, like, really ironic.
Ty
Yeah.
should go home. Ty should go.
I'm-
You know what? You're the
Yeah.
only person who... I think Ty is playing
Yeah.
Traded.
the best game.
It's
I
because
think he's-
y'all.
I will argue he's playing the best game of everyone here.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
I would
who-
say he's
who's
playing
playing a better
good
game than him?
I think Brad's playing a good game. I think Sandra's playing a good
Brad
game.
triggered Debbie into a psycho attack.
Although, to be fair, I don't
At
think
least
that was
that-
necessarily his
How
fault.
much trigger
No.
did that need?
Well, no, but what I'm saying is,
But- Just
Brad
like
has
a little
one
scratch.
enemy. Ty has no enemies. Has all
But
the
I think
loyalty
Ty
and
comes
has
off
2 idols.
But he comes off unpredictable. Like,
Yeah, but-
I could see people not wanting to work with him because, like, you voted out Caleb, and then he did get some trust back when he played the idol for Sierra, but, like,
I think people are seeing him as loyal now. He has an idol in his pocket,
yeah.
and he has no enemies with anybody
Yeah.
except for JT, who's out of there.
But y'all
Yeah.
are missing my entire point. My point is not that he's going to go home. My point is that he should go home. I don't care if he's playing a good game. I think he's a traitor, and I want him
That's
to
why
leave.
you're the no clue.
The thing is, that's not a no clue thing. I'm allowed to make my own judgments. You guys are basing who you want to go home based on who's playing the better game.
Yeah.
Yes, you're fully entitled to do so. I'm personally basing on who I want to go home off of who I personally think is being more of a jerk. So
Yeah.
I want Ty
And
to
you
go
didn't
home.
find
She was
Michaela
the most
sipping
pleasant.
water when JT...
Oh, that
she
was
she was like...
Yes, she was rubbing it in hardcore, but
Yeah.
he went and targeted her viciously. I'm not gonna feel bad.
Over a cup of
He's on my
sugar.
own team.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to go home either.
He did,
but
like,
that was,
blame her for
he-
eating the sugar.
He went
Yeah.
too far.
Okay, that's fair. She wasn't helping. She's digging her own grave.
Yep.
No, I mean, I'm not saying she's in a great position. Again, I'm like, not saying who I think is going to leave or who I want is going to win. I'm just saying the people who I want to leave and want to win.
Okay, MVP, LVP of the episode.
LVP is
Debbie.
freaking Debbie. My team. Great job, everybody.
Debbie.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
I mean, JT goes down there for finding an idol and then not using it to get
That
people
was
to
so
vote with
bad.
him, and then not playing it. Like, he misplayed that twice in a row.
So maybe
Like, that was
And then he had the move before. like,
yeah. In terms of strategy, I think JT is doing the worst. In terms of like
I think he's the worst player.
relationships with players and general
Yeah.
mental stability.
surprised he lasted this
Debbie.
long. in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I think JT is the worst player in the game.
Yeah.
Except for Michaela and Debbie.
Don't hate on my team.
I think Debbie's the worst by far at this point.
I don't think Michaela's doing that bad.
I don't think she's doing as bad as you say, though. She is like.
I think she has to be slightly better than JT, right?
Yeah.
But you have so many people that are like wary of her.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are people who are playing probably worse games, but just we haven't seen as much because they're in teams that are stable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But from what I'm seeing, she and Debbie are the worst right now.
I think yes, Debbie has been not going crazy, but
Debbie is a terrible player.
I don't think Michaela
Yeah.
is really as bad as we think she is.
Well, who's
Yeah.
worse? Besides Debbie. Nobody.
I mean, like, so many people we haven't had a chance to see what they'll do. Like,
That's true,
how
we
is
haven't
Troy
from
Zen
anyone.
going to use his idol?
Right.
He could still mess it up, but
But from what
hasn't.
we've seen,
Yeah.
So the only person
Michaela's
worse
the
than people on
worst
my
player.
team.
I mean-
other people on my team.
yeah.
You're gonna hardcore disagree with this, but Aubrey is not doing
Well,
great this season.
She's not doing
Like, I
great.
feel like I could
She's
make the
doing
same
awesome.
argument. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she was on the losing side of that vote, and she's like, you know, not attempting to make a relationship with Michaela. Like,
I agree. She's not doing great,
I
but
think
she's
she's not doing
certainly not doing
fantastic.
terrible.
Well, I think
No.
the worst player.
Yeah.
Well, do you mean the worst player here still, or the worst player like who was on this season?
I
no,
think we're
worst
saying
player
here.
who's still in the game.
Okay, because I was to say, I think the guy, I'm forgetting his name already. The guy who went home first. I think
Tony?
was the worst
Tony.
player.
I love
Oh.
He
Tony.
was such a mess.
we're just oh.
No, I
He was
honestly
such an
think
idiot. I'm sorry.
no. JT is a way bigger idiot. He
He confronted Sandra publicly in front of the person. Like, She caught her in a lie, and then instead of confronting her about it separately, he made it so that she would have to either lie to him or, like, confess her betrayal in front of another person.
Okay, but what's worse, that or in the middle of a tribal council betraying your entire team, knowing you're going to go back to camp with them, finding an idol, and then not using it at all as leverage?
He didn't mean to betray them, he was just an idiot, which is another whole deal entirely, and don't get me wrong.
That's honestly
it's
worse.
Very idiotic.
At least Tony was aware of what he was doing.
No, I'm sorry, that's like... I feel like, what's it called? JT trusted the wrong relationships, and that was his main downfall twice. Tony was just insane. Like Debbie.
I don't think you can compare Tony to Debbie. That's
One had a
ridiculous.
bigger meltdown on the scale of things, whereas Tony was just, like, made a really bad play.
I still stand by Tony, because even though he overplayed like hell and didn't do really well, out of the gate, he was a huge target, and
he had
to do something.
Yeah, he had an uphill battle, and he didn't win it.
He won the game swearing on his wife
like-
and baby. Like he would say, "I swear on my wife and baby," and then vote them out, and still won. So people knew he was like a scumbag. So he had to do something. Like, if he didn't do something, like, I think he would have been out first.
I still think he could have survived the first round had he not done what he did to Sandra. Because he
agree.
and Sandra had an alliance, remember, for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, but Sandra and Troyzan were talking about not trusting Tony.
Yeah, and then she came up to her in front of Troyzan
Yeah, no, he
and was
handled
like,
it bad.
"Are you lying to me?"
But
and
she
I'm
was
like,
not a
"Yes!"
saint in that scenario either.
Yeah.
No, she's terrible too, but the point being is there's no way that she could have done something to appease him in that scenario.
I agree.
He was crazy.
That was
dead
not a
and
good
gone.
move. So,
Off the
I still
island.
think JT was incredibly dumb.
Oh, yeah.
And I
No,
was
he's an
shocked by
idiot.
it too. He is
He
a
was really
winner
sad.
of this game.
Yeah, how?
He
Like,
won the
I
game.
was also rewatching Heroes versus Villains, and he's not doing well. And then here, he's not doing well. I'm like, how did you...
He had a first perfect game. Yeah.
My team is down to Sierra Dawn Thomas.
Yeah.
That's your
well,
hope.
let's see, because you have Debbie, who I'm going to disqualify. So, who else do you have?
That'd be the
Michaela.
best plot twist.
Michaela's a
just went
terrible
home.
player. JT's gone.
Who else do I
got
have?
four.
Troyzan.
Troyzan.
Troyzan's a good hope.
not
He is an
awful.
idol. Your
But
hopes
yeah,
are Sierra.
you're not doing fantastic right now.
To be fair, this is what happened when you pick your team basically randomly.
Yeah.
I blame these
Well,
two.
my team's pretty good because I have Culpepper, Ty.
I think Culpepper's not going to win though.
Yeah, but he's a good player.
He's
Ty's
a good player, but he's making himself too much of a target.
I think he's winning. I think
I think
he's
he
gonna
is
win.
winning now, but I don't think he's going to win.
No, I think he's going to win.
See, I don't think so.
I don't know. He might get there. He might get close. Any final thoughts? LVP Debbie, obviously.
Yeah.
MVP Sandra.
Still Sandra.
Yeah.
Sandra
Boo.
or
Well,
bust.
who'd you nominate?
Boo.
Who'd you nominate?
MVP. Actually, as ridiculous as this sounds, Troyzan, just because if you notice, he didn't do anything but, like, throw a bunch of targets down with the slingshot.
He did get an alliance,
Yeah.
He got an alliance.
which doesn't matter at all.
He won
because
the
which
challenge
tribes
for
are
his
shifting.
team. He
And
won
it
the immunity
continued.
challenge for his team. So,
Yeah.
And then, like, somehow he managed to, like, not beat the other first task and no one even said anything about it. So, honestly, MVP Troyzan.
Okay, but Sandra didn't get her name brought up.
No,
at
Sandra's the
Tribal.
MVP in my
And
She
opinion.
played the best game, arguably. I still just...
I think she's
I refuse
going
to say
next,
she's MVP.
or within the next few votes.
But like, I
with
feel
Debbie.
like I've thought she was gonna go, but not wanted to believe it. So now I'm just gonna be like, no, she's staying.
Yeah.
I've decided.
So, should we have our
Okay.
predictions for who we think is going to leave next week? Slash
And I
who
think
we
we
think is going
kind
to
of
win at
covered
this
that
current
with
point in
Yeah.
time?
LVP.
I mean, actually, I was right. I said JT.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
those,
yeah, we-
those were
that was
Pretty
obvious.
unanimous.
Although not for the reason we thought.
Yeah.
Not at
Yeah.
all for the reason we thought.
It was over the sugar.
And I think Sandra is out.
Sugar,
Oh.
sugar,
I think Sandra is screwed.
I think Debbie's
Sandra or Debbie.
Yeah.
Yep,
I think-
so that's
yeah.
our prediction.
I'm hoping for Sandra, but I think it's going to be Debbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any predictions as to who's going to win at this point in time?
Brad,
Sandra or bust.
I actually think
No.
Aubrey.
you think Aubrey's gonna what?
I think she's gonna win. She's playing it under the radar. She seems to be, even though she like has clearly made alliances that have failed, she's pretty good at accommodating and then making up for it with new alliances.
Yeah, she kind of, I think, sniffed it out a bit, what was going on. She's like,
Yeah.
I really like Michaela.
Yeah, she
you know,
did
she
kinda
was
back
like,
away.
Yeah.
And like the way
Damage
she handled
control.
it right after she found out that she was on
She's
the
like,
losing
"Good game,
side,
guys."
she was like,
Yeah.
that was good, making her less of a target next time. I think that was really smart.
Yeah, Aubrey's a great player. She's proven that. She almost won. She should have won, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Why didn't
but
she win?
the winner's the winner. She didn't get more votes than...
Yeah, it came down to the jury, and she didn't
It
get
was
more
like
votes.
5-3 or 2 or something.
Yeah.
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
I
also
don't know.
throw
That's
Sarah
what
out there for winners, because
Yeah.
I think we've been seeing a lot of her strategy and personal
When it's
relationships.
completely pointless. It
Yeah.
reminds me, I'm getting like Michelle vibes. Like, she's so boring, but like, granted, Sarah's more exciting than Michelle.
Yeah.
By a little, but like, that's not at all relevant
Yeah.
because the tribes are switching. But we're
Yeah.
still seeing scenes of her.
But she's still, like, trying to make those relationships. She's not just like, well, I'm on the winning tribe, I'm going to sit back.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Maybe are we seeing a Culpepper Sarah battle to the end? That'd be really bizarre. All right. I'm good. I think
Yeah.
we've talked up a lot of stuff today. So
Way past my bedtime.
Sandra and Ty go
there you
home.
go. Sandra. Oh, Ty's awesome.
Sandra's not going home.
Sandra probably
No
is
clue,
going
no
next.
clue. Go.
Her and Debbie. I don't know. They've really dug themselves up. I mean, Sandra's done a really good job, but she's playing too hard. And those kind of people flame out.
But I don't think she is. I feel like playing too hard.
It's gonna get caught.
Compared
Like,
to
I
our
don't think she
other
was doing
outings?
more than was like, she is spearheading some of the movements instead of like just jumping onto
She's
them. But
screaming
she's not
the
doing
queen
more
stays
than she
queen
has to.
at tribal
yeah, but
council.
That's not a move. That's like a character. That's like a.
People are still,
Everyone's
like-
playing a
If Jeff
character.
Warner turns on her, she's going down because no one's gonna listen to her after they find out about the sugar
Didn't
thing.
they find out?
No.
They did. No, Sandra said, I ate the sugar once JT left.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
Oh, I
We
didn't
can go
hear
back.
They all
that.
laughed at it. And Aubrey's like, wow, good job.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they all
Okay,
congratulated
well, she's just
her.
crazy.
So funny. Because it was a brilliant move and they all knew it. Because they were all like, Michaela was like,
Survivor's full of
you
horrible
know,
people.
he thinks he's so full of it, like he's blaming me for the sugar, and Sandra's just sitting there. And once all said and done, she admits it and they all laugh. They think it's hysterical. Like
Because some of
that,
the issue was he was blaming
Don't
her.
like anyone.
yeah, and that alone
Everything is sad.
proves that she's
The
a great
world
player.
is over.
But
What is the point of this horrible game for horrible people?
and that will be it
That's a
for
good note to end on.
2 No's and a No Clue for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for the next episode. Oh yeah.